All right, this is Heart of Algebra SAT prep. I'm going to try to do as much of it as I possibly can without the use of a calculator. So the distance formula is going to be the square root of a quantity squared plus another quantity squared, and you have to subtract those two items. So it's going to be this x, -6, this x, 7, and this -5, and this -3. So that's going to give me -13 squared, which is 169, plus, this is going to be a plus, -2 squared, which is going to give me 4. So it's going to be 169 plus 4, and I believe that's 173. Midpoint is a big happy Buddha with rosy cheeks, and he is positive. And we're going to add the x coordinates now. So 6 plus -8, 6 plus -8, and then it would be add the y coordinates, -6 plus 4. So 6 minus 8 would be -2 over 2, and that would be -2 over 2, because -6 plus 4 is -2, and that would simplify to -1, -1. Circle problems, they want the center radius, so it's going to be opposite with circles. And since the radius is 12, that's going to equal 12 squared, so 144. I can immediately eliminate these two. It's going to be x plus 6 and y plus 2. Choice A. So I left it the same for that one, that's a distractor. All right, opposite, so the center is going to be 5, 4, right 5, up 4, and the radius is going to be the square root of 4, which is 2. So I have to go from the center, right 5, up 4. So this one could be good, this one can't, and went left and down. So it has to be choice B. Oh, and the answer was already given. All right, so they have the circle here. It's hard to read, so I want to enlarge that, or squint. And let's see what that center is. So let's recognize that the center of this circle is located at 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's at 3, -4, and the radius is 2. So given that information, I can figure out which one of these equations is actually the circle. It's going to be opposite, so it's going to be x minus 3, y plus 4. So both of these work. But then you have to square the 2. So 2 times 2 is going to be 4. So it's going to be choice C. This one you have to do a lot of foiling. So I'm going to foil out x plus 2. So I like to use Punnets. So x plus 2 times x plus 2. And y plus 6 times y plus 6. Now if you train enough, you can actually do these in your head. But I'm going to do it the long way. So x times x is x squared, 2x, 2 times x is 2x, 2 times 2 is 4, y times y is y squared, 6y, 36. So I'm going to stack these. So that gives me x squared plus 4x. Notice you have to combine the like terms, plus 4. And then y squared plus 12y plus 36. And see, I have this 14 over on the right. I have to minus that 14 over here, because notice these are all set equal to 0. And let's see what happens from this. So I'm going to stack these up and add them. That would give me x squared plus y squared. And notice they all have x squared plus y squared. Now it's going to be plus 4x plus 12y. You cannot combine those. So let's see which one's this. It can't be this one. So right now it's a toss-up between B and C. Now 4 plus 36 is 40. And then I have to do 40 minus 14. So that would be 6, and you have to borrow one, so that would be 26. So plus 26 equals 0. So it's going to be choice B. Find the center. The trick to finding the center of a circle is just dividing those middle terms by -2. So -16 divided by -2 is +8, and it's going to be choice A. 4 divided by -2 would be -2, choice A. To find the radius, it would be a little trickier. You're going to subtract that 59 over, get that on the other side, and then 8 times 8 is 64, -2 times -2 is 4, And then you add these all up. That would be 68 minus 59. And notice that would be 9. 9 is not my radius. The square root of 9 is. So my radius would be 3. Domain, here's a parabola. It goes to the left forever. It goes to the right forever. So the domain is going to be negative infinity to positive infinity. It would have to be choice C. The range is the lowest y value. So notice the lowest y value is going to be 6. And the highest y value is infinity. So it's going to be bracket 6 to infinity. All right, the domain is the furthest left x value, which in this case is 0. It's on the x-axis. Sorry, it's on the y-axis. So it's going to be bracket 0, comma, infinity. The lowest y value is negative 3. And it starts at negative 3 and then goes up to infinity gradually, but it gradually goes up. So the domain, you never put a bracket on infinity. You always put a parenthesis. Choice B. All right, to find the domain of, I can just graph it real quick. So it would be negative 4 to infinity. So I go to negative 4, 0, and it would look like this. Or you can set the inside equal to, greater than or equal to 0. So 4 plus x is greater than or equal to 0. X is greater than or equal to negative 4. So that's going to be your domain, which would be bracket negative 4, comma, infinity. And the range starts at 0 here, so the range is going to be bracket 0, comma, infinity. This is going to be choice A. Without a calculator for number 13, you want to plug it in. So 2 times 1/3 squared plus 2 times 1/3 minus 8. 1/3 squared, 1/3. So this is going to be 1/9 times 2. That would be 2/9 plus 2/3 minus 8. So I'm going to have to get a common denominator for all this. So 2/9. Then I'd multiply this bottom by 3 and this top by 3 plus 6/9. Minus 8, so 8, I put a 9 here and a 9 here. So it'd be minus 72 over 9. So that's 8. So 8 minus 72 over 9. It's going to be a negative answer. It's probably going to be this one. 8 minus 72 would be negative 64. Find the slope of the line that passes through those 2 points. So y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. I like to put a template like this, the minus sign and the minus sign. So negative 5 minus negative 6 over 3 minus 9. So this turns into a plus. That would be 1 over negative 6, negative 1/6. If the y's are the same, the slope is 0. Notice how the y's are the same, the slope is 0. Vertical line, that would be Vux. So it would be x equals the negative 6. But the slope is undefined. That's what the U stands for from Vux. The slope is undefined. Y equals mx plus b. The slope is negative 1/5. The y-intercept is 4. So notice it has to be a negative slope, so it has to be choice A. X equals 5, that's a Vux. That's a vertical line whose slope is undefined through x equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it would have to be choice A. This would be a horizontal line. This one would be a HOI. This one has a slope that's not 0. Slope of 3/8 going through 0, 4. There's a little trick you can do. See how that's a positive slope? So you put a minus sign under the 0, 4. So I like to put a minus sign under the 0, 4 if that's positive. And then this 3 turns into a 3x. This 8 turns into an 8y. And I have to see what it equals. I throw that 0 in for x, that would be 0. I throw that 4 in for y, that would be negative 32. So negative 32. 3x minus 8y equals negative 32. Choice A. Slope-intercept form, that's y equals mx plus b. I noticed right away that my b is 4. So it can't be this one, it can't be this one. Now all I need to do is find my slope. So I'm going to set up my slope template. 4 minus 8 over 0 minus 5. So that's going to be negative 4 over 5. Has to be choice C. Find the slope and y-intercept. I really like these types of questions. If it's in standard form and you're good with standard form, they go pretty quickly. So the y-intercept is pretty nice. You just hide that. The y-intercept would be negative 5 halves. You hide that and you divide both sides by negative 2. So you divide this by negative 2, you divide this by negative 2. And that'll give you your y-intercept of negative 5 halves. So I had those two choices. And now the slope is, if this is an ax plus by equals c format, the slope is just opposite of a over b. So it's going to be negative 5 over negative 2. That would be 5 halves. So it has to be choice D. Perpendicular. Well, if the slope is negative a over b, the perpendicular slope would be just b over a. So that would be 1 over negative 4. So the slope is going to be negative 1/4. So I have either this one or this one. It goes through 3, 5, goes through 3, 5, 5, 3. I'm going to do this little trick. So I'm going to go right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up 1, 2, 3. And notice my slope is down 1 over 4. So I go down 1 over 4, down 1 over 4, up 1 over 4, up 1 over 4. And notice, my y-intercept is going to be positive. So my slope is negative. My slope is negative, but my y-intercept has to be positive. Choice D. All right, so parallel to this line, so I can do a couple of things. I can find the slope. I'll do that. I'll find the slope of this line. So it's going to be opposite of a over b. So slope equals negative a over b. So that would be negative negative 2. That would be 2 over 3. So my slope is 2/3, so it can't be these two. And now I'm going to do my real quick graph. I'm going to go to 3, 0, 1, 2, 3, 0. And my slope is up 2 over 3. Up 2 over 3. Down 2 over 3. All right? So notice my y-intercept has to be negative. Has to be choice A. Perpendicular to this line, going through that. So this slope, perpendicular slope, would be negative 2 over 5. It's b over a, so it'd be negative 2 over 5, and my coordinate is 4, negative 6. So I write down 4, comma, negative 6. And my slope is negative 2 over 5. Because my slope is negative, I put a positive sign here. Then it's going to be 2x plus 5y equals something. So right now I know my answer is going to be choice C. But let's find the actual C, the constant term over there. So I throw the 4 into x. That would be 2 times 4 is 8. Minus 30. 8 minus 30, notice, is negative 22. F times g of 4. So I'm going to throw the 4 into both of them. So 4 minus 3 is 1. And then I throw 4 in here, so 4 squared, so it's 4 times 16. Minus 20 times 4, minus 4. So that's 64, minus 80, minus 4. So 64 minus 84 would be negative 20. So 1 times negative 20 is negative 20. This one, there's no arithmetic. You actually have to do the algebra. So I'm going to do f, that's 9x minus 5 minus g. But you have to wrap it if you're subtracting the whole thing, because you have to distribute that negative across that quantity. So that's going to be 9x minus 5 minus 7x plus 2. CLT, that would give me 2x minus 3. Oh, there it is, choice C. 2x minus 3. Fog of negative 6, you want to plug the negative 6 in the G first. So this one's going to be a whopper. So negative 2 times negative 6 squared. So that would be negative 2 times 36 minus 3 times negative 2. 3 times negative 6. 3 times negative 6. So that would be plus 18 minus 6. So that would be negative 72 plus 18 minus 6. 18 minus 6 would be 12. So negative 72 plus 12. Let's see what that would be. Negative 60. Now I have to take negative 60 and plug that in here. So 2 times negative 60 plus 3. Negative 120 plus 3 would be negative 117. All right, Goff. So I have to plug the 7 into F first. So 7 minus 1 is 6. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Now I take that 3 and plug it in to G. And that would be 21 plus 2. I believe that's 23. Piecewise, they want me to evaluate F of negative 6. Notice, negative 6 is less than 6. So I'm going to take that negative 6 and plug it into the first equation. That would be negative 12 plus 1 would be negative 11. Negative 7 is less than negative 1. So I'm going to take that negative 7 and plug it in to the first equation. That would be negative 21. So they want me to graph. So y equals negative 4. That's y equals negative 4, where x is greater than or equal to 1. So that's going to be a straight line going to the right. From 1, not negative 1. So it could be this one. Ooh, can't be that. It has to be choice B. And then this would be negative x minus 1. It would begin at negative 1, and then go down 1 over 1, but it would go in the other direction. And notice how the arrow points to the left. But it's an open circle because there's no line underneath of that. So it has to be choice B. All right, to the left of 0. So it's going to start at 1, and the slope is going to be up 2 over 1. Open circle on it. That's the curve first. That's the curve first. That's a closed circle on the line. It can't be that one. It has to be choice A. Opposite same for parabola, so it's going to be negative 1, 2. And it's going to have a positive 2, so it's going to be concave up. So I go left 1, up 2. Has to be choice B. This one I go right 3, down 2. And it's concave down because there's a negative in front of it. So I go right 3, down 2. Right 3, down 2. So it could be this one. This one goes right 3, up 2. This one goes left 3, up 2. This one goes left 3, down 2. It has to go right 3, down 2. So it has to be choice A. Absolute value is a V. The vertex is going to be opposite same, so negative 4, comma 3. So I go left 4, up 3. Left 4, up 3, it could be this one. Left 4, up 3, it could be this one. But notice there's a 1/2 in front. So the slope is going to go up 1 over 2. This one goes up 2 over 1. Can't be D, has to be choice A. What is the measure of GCF? GCF. They want to know what this angle is. It says that this triangle is congruent to this triangle, so this angle here is going to also be 40. If that triangle is congruent to that triangle. If this angle is 40 and this angle is 40, that means I have 180 minus 80. That angle there is going to be 100 degrees at the top. And they want you to enter that into the gridded box, the gridding square. All right, this is a high-level one. It's the area of a segment, not a sector. So that's going to be the area of the triangle, no, the area of the ice cream cone, minus the area of the triangle, equals the ASR, the area of the shaded region. So I want to keep that little idea in mind. So let's see here. The area of the sector is going to be line, equal sign line. 60 degrees over 360 degrees. The area of the entire circle would be 16 pi. And the area of this entire ice cream cone would be x. And we'll figure that out. What I like about this is I can simplify these zeros pretty rapidly. 6 over 36 is 1/6. So it's going to be 16 pi times 1 divided by 6. So the area of this thing here is going to be 16 pi over 6, which will simplify to 8 pi over 3. But notice I have to minus something. Ooh, it's getting close. It's getting close. Now I have to find the area of the triangle. Now the area of the triangle is going to be a little difficult. Notice, if this side here is 4, so to find the area of the triangle, if this is a radius of 4, this is a radius of 4. And if this side is equal to this side, that means that this angle is equal to this angle. So 180 minus 60 gives us 120. That means these two angles have to add up to equal 120, divided by 2, and that would give us each angle of 60. So this is actually going to be an equilateral triangle. So if I have an equilateral triangle with the side length of 4, its base would also be 4, and this side would also be 4. If I cut that in half, that's going to give me a length down here of 2. This angle would be 60, this angle would be 30. Now I have a 30, 60, 90 right triangle. 4, 2, 2 root 3. So the area of this equilateral triangle is going to be 1/2 the base, which is 2, times the height, which is 2 root 3. So the area is going to be 4 root 3. 4 root 3. So if I do 8 root 3 minus 4 root 3, that should give me the area of the shaded region. All right, let's see what we got here. So I'm going to take this, 8 root 3 minus 4 root 3. So I need a common denominator. I'm going to put a 3 underneath this. That means I have to multiply the top by 3. So if I multiply the top by 3, that would give me 12 root 3. So it would be 8 pi over 3 minus 12 root 3 over 3. And if I factor out the 1/3, it would give me choice D. If I were to distribute that across, that would give me 8 pi over 3 minus 4 root 3. I'm sorry, 12 root 3 over 3. And that would be choice D. That one was a little tough. Right triangles, what is cosine of angle B? So this is angle B. So TOA, so that would be adjacent to angle B, would be 6. The hypotenuse would be 10. So the cosine of angle B would be 6 over 10. You could write that as 0.6 or 3/5. They might let you get away with 6/10. But in the bubble boxes, it would be 3 divided by 5 or 0.6. Those are guaranteed correct answers. Sine of x is 5 over 8. So there's x, so sine is that's opposite over hypotenuse. So opposite x would be 5, and the hypotenuse would be 8. And they want cosine of y. So cosine of y would actually be 5 over 8 also. That would be choice C. Remember, cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, and the adjacent to angle y would be 5. What is the value of f of 2? So they want me to put a 2 in for x, so I'm just going to put a 2 in for x. That would be 3 squared, that would be 9. So I have a systems of equations. So solve the system. Because they're both set equal to y, I can rewrite this as x minus 7 equals, I'm going to FOIL this out. Again, I like to use the Punnett. You don't have to. X plus 3, x minus 7. So that would give me x squared minus 7x, 3x, and negative 21. So that would equal x squared minus 4x minus 21. Let's get everything over to one side. So I'm going to subtract x from both sides. And I'm going to add 7 to both sides. So that would give me 0 equals x squared minus 5x. And then 21 minus 7 would be 14. That would be minus 14. I think I can factor this. So I know x minus 7 is going to be a factor. It's in both terms. I think it's going to be negative 3. Let's see here. X times x equals x squared. 7 times 2 equals 14. The 7 is bigger than the 2, so the negative goes with the 7. A negative times a negative is a positive. Ooh. It ain't any of them. Maybe I did something wrong. Let me try it again. All right. X plus 3 times x minus 7 equals x minus 7. I can see it. I can see it. So if I divide both sides by x minus 7, that would give me x plus 3 equals 1. So x equals negative 2. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. Let me try a different way. All right, so x squared plus 3x minus 7x minus 21 equals x minus 7. So that would give me x squared minus 4x minus 21 equals 0. Oh, I'm sorry, minus 21 equals x minus 7. So I'm going to minus x and add 7. So I subtract x, that would be negative 5x. I add 7, that would be negative 14. Set it equal to 0. Could be a value of x. So let's see. X minus 7 plus 2. So negative 2, but 7 would be a possible answer. X equals 7 would make it 0. I should have done that a little bit quicker. How many solutions does the system have? 2x minus y equals 3. 4x minus y equals 3. I can do this pretty quickly by finding slopes, or I can solve it. So let me solve it. I'm going to distribute a negative across this. You're allowed to do that. So that would give me negative 2x plus y equals negative 3. That would give me 4x minus y equals 3. That would give me 2x equals 0, x equals 0. That means I'll have exactly one solution. Power factoring. If you've ever factored x squared minus 9, don't you square root this and square root this to give you x plus 3, x minus 3? So I'm going to power factor x squared minus 2. So if I were to factor x squared minus 2, I would just square root this and square root this. And that would give me x plus root 2 times x minus root 2. And that would be all over x minus root 2. And when I factor that, these will simplify out, and that gives me x plus root 2 as an equivalent expression. Factorial. A lot of people don't realize that 5 factorial equals 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. So this is actually going to be 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 divided by 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, all raised to the 3 times 2 times 1. These will all simplify out, and then 3 times 2 times 1 is 6, so that would be 5 to the 6th power. And that would be choice D.